Altoona second grade teachers. We're so glad that you have welcomed us this year as virtual Junior Achievement volunteers into your classrooms, and we do hope to see you in person sometime in the future. My name is Kathleen Mentink. I'm a retired psychology instructor, and after retirement, work continues on as a community volunteer, as well as contract work as a curriculum reviewer, hospital chaplain, mental health therapist, and currently I work as a youth mentor. I am a graduate of Altoona High School, as are both of our children, and we all definitely appreciate the care and opportunities that we received from the staff at Altoona. So thank you for caring and serving. Junior Achievement Goals, we hope to provide students with skills that will help them in their financial management, help them learn what it takes to be an entrepreneur, and learn the skills that are needed for our current global economy. So Junior Achievement offers a K through 12 curriculum, starting with kindergartners learning about themselves and their role and value of work. First graders looking at the roles of workers in a family and how the family provides for its members through work. Your second graders will be using games and activities for our 5 lessons to look at jobs in a community, where those individuals work, and how these businesses and workers work together, and how money flows through the community. Third graders look at the economy in a city. Fourth graders are looking at a region of the United States, and fifth graders have a global map where they're looking at how economies of various countries interact and the key skills that they're going to need. So, and middle and high schoolers, we have career fairs as well as individual lessons on topics ranging from soft skills to interviews and resumes. So let's take a brief look at the lessons. First of all, you received a Junior Achievement kit, and inside that kit you'll find a poster and the Junior Achievement banner, which you may want to post in your classroom because we'll be referencing it in a couple of the lessons. You will also have a set of key term cards which have the description, the definition on the back of the card. We'll reference these in the lessons, and you may choose to post these. There's also a guide for volunteers and teachers, and if you look at page 3, it shows the page numbers for each of the 5 lessons. And the lesson plan is entirely set up, as well as all the materials that you need. If you choose, you may want to organize the materials by each of the 5 lessons so you're ready to go. I've done that as a volunteer just to make sure it's ready for my session. So in our first session, we're going to learn about specific jobs and what skills are needed for those jobs. So you'll have a set of job cards. You will be reusing these again, so just to keep that in the folder for another time. The students will be in teams playing a tic-tac-toe game, 3 cards in a row. So they'll have 9 cards that they line up in the 3 columns of 3, and some game pieces or chips. And you also have in the back of your guide a list of the job card descriptions that you can use to call out the various job cards, and so you will also have the list of the skills and duties, and you can generate some discussion based on that. At the end of that session, students can be given this Junior Achievement magnet to take home, so it notifies their family that they are participating in this program. Then for our second lesson, our focus is on the Sweet O Donuts shop, and do we wish we could bring you donuts and donut holes and all those good things, but we are going to have your students working in teams again, and they will use some various supply stickers to place on donuts and also color the donuts to indicate different varieties. And they need to come up with a production process to complete this task, and they will see how that works out for them. You will have this donut production checklist to generate some discussion in the class. With our video sessions, there may be points where we'll say the teacher may pause the video at this point so that you can conduct that discussion before we move on to the next topic. So that is our donut shop activity. They also have a junior journal that they will be starting on this session 2 by drawing a picture of their ideal donut and then also describing it. We will be continuing to use this journal in session 5 when we look at how money flows, so we'll hang on to this after this session. Going on to lesson 3, business and government jobs, to distinguish between the two. First of all, we're starting with the replication of our community poster, and we'll look at how does a community work. This is a good time to teach how to navigate through a map like this and what the legend, what the key is. I have many students I've seen coloring, for example, the roads or various items on their map as they go through this, especially if they have some time at the end. They'll be given this sticker sheet and they need to find the location of each of these businesses here. And just a tip, on pages 59 to 60 in the back of your volunteer and teacher guide, you'll see that answer key, so you'll know where those are located. So once they find those businesses, then our next step, we are again going to be looking at the job cards and distinguishing between government jobs and private business jobs. In doing so, the point of this lesson is to emphasize the need for taxes, how they're used. Students will be receiving this sheet with 5 $1 bill replications, and if you have just a little box or container, somebody gets to be the tax collector and walk around and request the $2 of taxes from each of your students, and you can discuss how those are used to support the essential government services that they are participating in. For session 4, we're looking at voting, starting with how do we make a decision. So simple thing, how do we keep our school beautiful? And they're in teams to come up with different ideas, pros and cons for each of these 3 choices that are presented to them. They then, you can guide them through a class discussion with the poster on front and listing some of the team's pros and cons for each of those options. They will then have a ballot that they can use to vote for their choice, and those votes are calculated. We talk about the majority vote, and they get the I voted sticker if you choose that. Going on to lesson 5, the focus of this lesson is both to be sure that we understand the different ways that money is calculated. So they will be tearing apart in teams these cards and then turning them over, and then this is their memory match game. Will they match the 4 quarters with the dollar bill or with the 100 cents game card? And after completing that team activity, you will have a set of business cards that you can set up in your classroom as you choose in different areas, and we'll see how money flows through the community. So again, we are back to the junior journal that we looked at last time. There's a review on the front of key terms, so this is helpful because this is their 5th and last session. And then inside you can either have this read, or there's a CD with a song on it that can be played as somebody walks around the room, using this as the example of how money flows, and go to each of these businesses with the cards that you have listed there. That concludes the 5 sessions. When you're done, you're welcome to fill out a certificate of achievement for each of the students. There's also in your bag these name cards that can be used for a variety of purposes. So thank you for including junior achievement. Please contact your JA rep if you or your students have any questions or feedback. And now we are on to lesson 1.